Guys, wait till you see this. So I got a friend of mine that makes drive shafts anyways, and he took good care of us. Check this out. He just wants us to be safe, folks. Welcome back, everyone. We are back to what we wanted to get on. We got the old LTD back in the shop. This is where the fun stuff starts. We got the motor mounted and we got all that other good stuff going. We did slide a couple parts in quick off camera. We're trying to get a couple things done to make this thing a car again. We're hoping to get this thing fired up soon. It's been a project. You know what I mean? You're dealing with a 1983 Michigan car. It's rusty. It's not that bad, but it's rusty. So we're dealing with the fuel system now. We are gonna just put some cheap ass spray bomb undercoating. It's not the best for it, but it's gonna work. We just got some old Duplicolor, you know, turn it black, make it whatever. So let me give you a little tour of what we got done. So we didn't do much without you, I promise. But we did get our trans cross member in. That is out of the Lincoln Town Car. You seen us grab that from Wayne's. We do got a nice Prothane mount in. So that's all settled. We are working on the fuel system. We did pull the tank out ahead of time, guys. In that area is not too bad. The trunk's a little rusty. We know. It'll be fine. It'll be fine for what this car's gonna be. The bumper's rusty too. What are you gonna do? But where it matters though, the crush boxes and all that stuff are in good shape. Well, take a look at the fuel tank, guys. I did order a new fuel tank. She's rough. The inside, believe it or not, oh, if I can get you in there, is actually in really good shape. But it's rusty on the outside and on the bottom and on the pinch weld, and there was zero fuel in it, so it's probably leaking. So what we're doing right now, while that is on order, we're touching up the bottom like we said, and we're gonna start spraying her black. Hopefully we'll be getting that tank soon. The sending unit's good. We got just a standard basic high pressure fuel pump for it, just so we can get our pressure. We did mount the, we're using this style, the old Corvette. I think they were like, what are them guys, like 02, 03, maybe it was LS6 years, like 05. But anyways, that's a, basically what that is a fuel pressure regulator filter. You got your 3/8 inlet, and then you have your regulator built into the filter, and then you have your outlet that goes back to the tank, and then we're just gonna run a 3/8 feed all the way to the front. Reason we're doing that, our LS4 intake is a return-less style intake. So this is the simpler way of doing it. And then we only gotta run one fuel line to the front rather than running two. If we want to boost it down the road and stuff, we'll deal with that later. This is kind of just to get it up and going and show you guys some progress and get this thing well, I can back it out of the garage. That'd be helpful. So this car here, being it was TBI, already had a pressure return, which is awesome. But the lines are garbage. So what we're gonna do is run some new fuel lines. So that's what we're gonna attack today as well. Hopefully get that plumbed up and then fog the bottom black. Let's get to it. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and fog this thing. And like I said, I mean, we did already wire wheel it. We did knock the dust off, save you that boring stuff. I want you to see the color transformation. It's gonna make it look like $1 million, but it's only worth 200, you know? See, you can't even tell it's carpet anymore. Look at that, it just blends right in. All right, we're gonna finish this up real quick for you. All right, guys, that looks much better. Now, we just did the back half so far, and you're saying lipstick on a pig? Well, that's kind of what we're working with, so it'll be all right. But we just kind of did back half so far. You can see we got our fuel line right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use kind of the factory location. And then for the, let me get a light real fast here. All right, so what I was saying is that the factory 5/16 line would run up this side here on the driver's side. And then you can see, kind of used to pop out right here where the factory housing was for the 3/8. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna run the 3/8 line, the feed, on the passenger side like it was, and then we're gonna take, and you can see through the wheel well here where the 5/16 was, we're gonna go ahead and run that across this cross member right there. So what we'll probably do is, I got a way of making them push connect fittings. That fancy flare tool I've showed you in the past will do the push connects as well. So we'll probably do a hard line from there, you know, on this side, and a hard line from here to about here-ish, and then a little short chunk of snappy-do there, you know, the old push connect line. And then we can hard line it to the front. But to show you the factory tank I showed you earlier, you can see, let's get this thing knocked over. These factory lines come up and over, and one goes to the passenger, one goes to the driver. And those are nylon. Them are going to be just fine. So we're going to go ahead and reuse those. It'll just simplify the process. And then we're not trying to fight another line across the top of this tank. So it'll get us going. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start kind of probably doing the underneath of the floor up here, because we are kind of waiting for that tank, and then get those lines ran. So I think we're going to start on probably the lines and then get back to the front. So let's get some lines bent up. All right, that puts it in a little better perspective for you. So we're gonna try to just do a 180 bend here so that factory line will push on, and then we're gonna just kind of recreate this and fish it over to that hard filter, and then we'll deal with that over there. And then on the other side, the driver's side's kind of there, passenger side the same way, guys. You can kind of see where the vent and that runs forward. Same dealio. Let's get bending. All right, we removed most of the other lines and kind of the parking brake cables. None of that stuff worked, guys. That stuff's all seized up garbage. So let's say a couple, maybe 13s or 1/2 inch there. See if we can get the old ratchet wrench in. We'll probably reuse this clamps because in the essence of being cheap, you know, they're here, they work. Let's hopefully they don't break, you know. All right, you can kind of see we're going to recreate it. See, this thing was just twisted right off, rotted off. So I'm going to go ahead and bend up that line very similar. We'll probably reuse these P-clamps again. They're a little rusty, but they'll be just fine. And then we can go ahead and get her fished over to the other side. All right, guys, I'll show you kind of a quick reference of what we're going to do. I've showed you in the past, but basically we're trying to recreate this guy here. We have what they like a push-on style fuel injection end, and we're going to flare it onto our new 5/16 line, and we're just going to kind of recreate this bend here to get it over to our fuel filter. Show you that real quick. All right, so with this stuff here, this is poly armor coated line. I like to grind the coating off, not grind it off, but wire wheel it. It gets stuck in these things horribly bad. So that, and I like to spray them down. Your regular brake lines, you don't necessarily have to, but with this dude, it helps. So, got your tool. You got your clamp or vise, basically. And then I see a lot of brands came out. You see Harbor Freight's got these out too, but we use the Master Cool brand one. I've had it for quite a few years. Works out real nice. Kind of the originator of the whole deal. So basically what we're going to do is take the line, which is very difficult to see, but we're going to make sure the line ends up at the end of this die. So go ahead and clamp her in. I know you guys probably can't see it, but you're going to have to trust me on it. We'll go ahead and tighten that down. And then what's cool, it just works like a hydraulic bottle jacket. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. So back her off. Hopefully the WD-40 did the trick so it doesn't come on, or it doesn't stick. And it's not going to work. It's going to have to pull it off. There we go. There it is. Look at that, guys. And that's what we were going for. Now we can just snap on our factory forward line. Ready to move on. All right, guys, that kind of gives you an idea what we're doing. We just got kind of recreating the factory. I mean, it looks factory, right? It's OEM right there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the other side real quick, and then we'll pop you back in underneath when we're trying to tie into our fuel filter there, get to that area. All right, guys, we got the lines popped out underneath, looking good. We're gonna go ahead and kind of clean this up a little more here, run the 5/16 over here, probably get her about here, and then we'll push connect line as well as here. We'll run a couple nylon lines down to our fuel filter, and then we can start working towards the front. The biggest thing is we wanted to get this stuff done so when we get the tank in, we can go ahead and clean up everything back here and fog it in. We'll probably replace this brake line that was garbage back here too, since it's been on there since '83. Phil, and then we probably should change the hose, but we're cheap and we're probably not going to. But it's gonna get a new nut, it's gonna get a new line. It's gonna be good, guys. It's gonna be okay. All right, we kind of got these laid out. Kind of want to show you that. We're just gonna make a basically a nylon line like we were talking earlier, bridge them together, and then we're gonna roll one off this 5/16 and bring her down. Now we're gonna go ahead and touch this stuff up too, guys. You know, just a little. So I'm gonna show you how to make that line real fast and how quick and easy these products are. It's SUR&R. It's pretty slick for what it is. It's a. Oh, I showed you before in a fuel pump repair video on my wife's truck, but basically you just take this plastic end, it's like PEX tubing. You got your nylon fuel line. Let me show you real quick. All right, you put your clamp on first, and honestly, guys, this makes it super nice under a vehicle too, because you don't really need any special tools. I know there's other product lines that you have to use like a press to kind of do it, but that just shoves in. Got your little crimping pliers. And that's a wrap. How slick is that? All right, guys, we're going to fit that in. I always like to spray them a little bit. But basically, she's going to snap on there. That's it. We're done. How easy is that? That's why we like that stuff. Well, guys, we just got a little Christmas present for the hot rod. We finally got what we've been waiting for. Got our gas tank in. Brand new, fresh unit. Tear her open. Hopefully it's the right damn one. According to the old interwebs it is, but let's take a look. Well, the hole's in the right spot. It's even powder coated. Look at that. Dang. Guys, wait till you see this. So I got a friend of mine that makes drive shafts anyways, and he took good care of us. Check this out. He just wants us to be safe, folks. We have a couple we got a couple warning labels, folks. I mean, he just wants us to be safe. That's all it is. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get that fuel pump put together. Well, fuel tank, I should say. But we're gonna transfer everything out of this fresh unit to the new tank. So in the essence of being cheap, you know, because that's just what this whole build's about. I got a known good fuel pump we're gonna throw in here. It's out of a later model F-150, but it's a high pressure fuel pump, and we got that premium filter regulator, which a lot of you hate. I understand why, but we're gonna check fuel pressure and adjust accordingly. And I note with those things, guys, make sure you always double check your fuel pressure, because them cheap ones could be way off. So that is a Wix. That's a overpriced fuel filter. But get an AC Delco, get a high-end one. Don't buy one of them $20 Amazonian ones, because they will mess with your pressure. Check it, though. So we got a, out of my kid's Ford F-150, the damn gas gauge quit working. So we're going to steal a pump off his old unit. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll work. Watch. You watch. So we're going to go ahead and make that and that, have a baby, and it'll be ready to go in. Let's get to it. Alright guys, moment of truth. Now obviously we don't really care about this tank, so if stuff falls in there, it don't matter, but this thing's been in there since, well, the date's on it. Oh, August 11th of 82. Been in there a couple days. And I would believe this is pretty original. I mean, everything from the factory harness and stuff, I mean... But again, what's cool about this one, guys, this was a TBI car, so it makes it a lot simpler for us to change a few things over. If we can get it out of here. Oh yeah, there she is. Look at that unit. This fuel line's like a gummy bear though. Yeah, it's definitely sucked up a few things. All right, let's get this thing cleaned up. Yeah, look at that. The bottom is full of crap. This thing is like a gummy bear too. Man. That right there was our, for our return, so it kind of just blows off in the bottom of the tank. Usually you want your return unrestricted, so I don't know on that one. But we'll see. Either way, it's gonna work out just fine for us. Let's get her modded up. It's just not our time, guys, with this fuel smell, man. We got that 51 Chevy going last week, me and JT, and whew, this stuff ain't much better coming out of this old girl. Well, they're gonna tear this pump apart real fast. Hopefully we can take that pump and make them into one. But we're gonna get this thing ripped apart, and hopefully we're gonna replace these. We're gonna get some fuel injection hose dropped off, and hopefully it works. It should. I mean, realistically, it's 12-volt pump. As long as we can get the depth right, and I don't know, let's get it apart. I would just cut that off. There's our sock. Yeah, this thing is just deteriorating too. You know what? Somebody might have been in there, because I mean, look how hacked that is with 2 hose clamps stacked. I mean, I would do something like that, but I don't know if Ford would. We're probably not going to put that back in there. Honestly, guys, I don't really know why they put that on there. I mean, I'm assuming it's probably for noise. Kind of tone it down a bit. Look at that thing. It's like a big gummy bear. To think I was going to not pull that out. I'm just kidding. Moment of truth. Now, the biggest thing is we got to measure the depth of this dude. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. So all that is, guys, I've seen these before. That is literally just like an inline fuel pump for a mid-80s Ford. I mean, that's kind of funny. I have a 255 Walboro. We may put that in place. I mean, that would, as long as I put that in the right spot, would be okay as well. But it literally just hangs there. How wild is that? Like, at least the GM ones, you had like the stalk to clamp on there, but we'll modify that. We'll probably, maybe we'll weld on like a little bracket or something, or hose clamp it on, I don't know. But yeah, that's really just flops around in there. All right. Well, so basically that's what you get after you pull it all apart. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, we just got to make sure our depth is around. We're probably going to go 6 1/4 just to make sure we're off the bottom enough. So I think what we're gonna do is actually, I think we're gonna take this bracket and cut it off and maybe just screw it to it. You know what I mean? You'll end up with that on the bottom. I mean, this thing is an NA build currently, so right now it'll get it going, but I mean, if we decide to go boosted down the road or something, we'll probably have to stick a 450 or dual 450s or get a little more creative. So this is, again, just to, let's get this thing going. there's our pump assembly. That's seen better days, but we just pulled this out of that white Ford, so it'll be just fine. And I think it's an original Ford. Yeah, look at that, from 1997. Huh. All right, thought process. What do you guys think? We're just gonna kind of merge those two, and we'll just put a couple bolts here, and I mean, I think that'll be slick. I think that'll work out good. All right, guys, so I just kind of cut that off, and we might weld it on. I don't know. We might just hose clamp it. I mean, really, it's a support for the fuel pump. We'll see. But I want to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing here. Like I said, all we wanted to do was transfer it. And honestly, it'll be better off in the end, because now if we ever need a fuel pump for this thing, we just get one for a Ford. And actually, if you guys are familiar with fuel pumps, this is a similar style to like a Walboro 450. So to replace it's going to be better anyways versus that big hunk of shit that was in there. But that was a TBI pump. I mean, technically your regulator dictates pressure, so we might have been okay with that pump, but as the shape of that thing, and I mean, this was just the way to go. Well, guys, that's how you take your, you know, early 2000s Ford fuel pump and, you know, modify it and blend it with a minty fresh, 83 LTD. We did just hose clamp it on there, and really it's just a support. So, but you see what we got going on. We got some new fuel injection hose, high pressure, ethanol rated stuff, so we don't want that rotting away. And then the return, we kind of just chopped that tube off, and it's clamped on there. It'll be fine. Again, it's a known fuel. All right, fresh unit, ready to go in. We did get a new seal. I mean, these things are kind of, I mean, it's really easy to change, but kind of a goofy design. I mean, you think about it, all the fuel above this line, we're probably not gonna be past that very often, but it's held back by this dude. So we're gonna go ahead and replace it. We did, obviously, we got all new seals there. We got all the existing lines we reused, but them are them plastic lines, so them should be fine for high pressure. I mean, they were fuel injected before, so we should be good. If we have issues, we'll deal with it later. But I think this dude and the tank's going in. In project fashion, guys, we're gonna repurpose a couple things. Our gas tank straps, well, first off, those are on like intergalactic, you know, can't find them. I mean, probably somebody has them, but it ain't today. So we're gonna go ahead and sandblast those. They came out, they look decent. And also our filler neck is in good shape for the most part. So we're gonna clean them up. Just foo-foo bomb them black, and I think we'll be we're good to go. Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, the straps are easy to replace. So is that filler neck, so it should get us by. It'll probably be a permanent fixture if it works. So let's get these things cleaned up, paint them black, and then we can put the gas tank in. All right, so they turned out decent. I mean, they're still pretty rusty, and they'll be all right. They'll be all right. So I think we're just gonna, like I said, we're just gonna give them a quick shot of black, since it's a frame off restoration and all. So all right, guys, I call that a win. She is in. Look at that. See where we're trying to work on them lines? Like, oh, them lines are going to work right out, man. Plug right in, both sides. Slick as snot. Yeah. All right, guys, got the fuel line ran, and I got a little carried away with the, you know, the 399 undercoating. So don't judge. I mean, feel free. What the hell? But remember, this car is it's not brand new. I decided to fog everything, but I did get my fuel line done. Look at that, mint, like brand new. See, look at them floors. We just did them are revised. That looks better, you know, it'd be all right. So fuel lines are done. We got all that plumbed up now. That's exciting. Fuel tank is done. We did get them other lines plugged in. Filler neck is back in. You can see that, dude, and the line, they snapped right on. So I think the next project, well, we didn't put our drive shaft in yet, so we're kind of gonna wait for that. We wanted to get this stuff cleaned up underneath and stuff. But I think the next step is to lower it down and get back up underneath the hood. Realistically, everything underneath is about done for now. Obviously, we gotta go through the brakes and all that stuff, but we're more worried about obviously getting it to go than stop. I mean, what's more important? You know what I mean? You can't stop your way to the gas station. You know what I'm saying?